I'm standing in the unconverted, newly purchased 2019 Promaster, 45,000 miles. Costs a little bit more than my budget, than I was expecting, but that's kind of how the market is now. It's just hard to find things, and this was one of the newest, lowest mile vehicle that I found. So just drove it over here yesterday. First steps are going to be obviously is cleaning and just all the basics, touch-ups. There's a little bit of paint missing on a lot of the bottom here. Obviously it was used for work, some kind of cargo van. So I'm going to be doing a lot of the basic stuff. As you saw on the outside, there is some dents, a little bit of body damage. So it's not perfect cosmetically, but overall it's great. I took a look at the bottom. I'm actually going to take it to a shop later on and just have a look at it, replace all the basic transmission, radiator fluid, all that basic stuff. Just get that all out of the way because I don't know when was the last time it was all done. There's an issue with the door where there's a dent on the side panel which causes the door to sort of rub against this side panel, which I will either push out the dent or replace that little side panel, maybe find something at one of the pick and pull junkyards. But really minor stuff. There's a little hole here. Overall, pretty great condition. It's 2019, so it was only 3 years old. And, like I said, 45,000 miles. So pretty excited about this project. I'm going to be documenting it little by little, time lapses. Nothing too detailed because this is actually, I don't have any idea how to build these things. I'm going to be watching a lot of YouTube tutorials, just really taking my time with it. But overall, it looks like a great van and really excited for this project. Today we are doing the first sort of big step into the conversion. We're doing, as you can see, these bags back here. We're going to be cutting the hole in the roof and putting in the Maxxair fan. A little nervous, a little excited because I'm going to be actually cutting into the van. So I've watched too many tutorials. I pretty much have it all down. I have all the gear, and it's nice weather today though. I think it's going to rain later, so we're going to get it done nice and early. And hopefully in an hour or two we'll have a hole in the ceiling and we'll have the Maxxair fan in. Also, I ordered a window, put one of the bunk windows over here on this side. Might just do the one side. I don't think I'm going to do both of them because I don't want it too excessive. It'll help a little with the airflow, though ideally you want the fan opposite ends of the window, but you could always roll down the windows here and we'll get nice airflow through the van. I've begun the process of prepping the floor. The next big step is going to be putting in the subfloor. The subfloor is going to be the wood, the plywood, the insulation, pretty much everything that makes up the floor, which right now, as you can see, it's the bare metal. I have already cleaned, painted, pretty much had to repaint there's a lot of exposed metal, kill some rust, repaint. Got a nice layer of Rust-Oleum on there. I'm going to be putting in the Kilmat, it's a sound deadener, noise deadening material, which is also going to go on the walls here. Today we're also going to be doing the swivel seat. Pretty simple. And I believe tomorrow we're going to be doing the purchases of the wood. I'm here at Casa de Amir. We have come here to access some of the high-end tools. There's a circular saw down there. Brought my jigsaw that I use for the fan in the window. Bunch of tools up in here. Pretty much everything we need. I'm going to be doing primarily, or pretty much only, the cutting. So I'm going to be cutting, obviously, the plywood over here. I got my template that I made yesterday after a little bit of work, where around the wheel wells is where I'm going to run into the most difficulty, but got that template made for like half of the setup, which I'll just flip over and copy onto the other side. And we have our 1x2s on the floor here, and those will be making up the frame for the subfloor, and I'll get those all cut up. And I'll get everything cut today, and then the reason why I'm doing everything over the next couple days is because I have to paint everything to prevent mold and all that, because they go under the plywood and stuff. So it's gonna be a little bit of prep work. So everything is gonna get cut today and hopefully painted and put in today, tomorrow and Monday. So I've finally completed the plywood section of things, with this first piece being the most annoying because templates aren't an exact science, and it was pull it out, adjustment, put it back in, it didn't fit, pull it out, cut some more, did that repeatedly, so it just barely fits now. I'm probably still gonna have to cut off a little bit on some of these corners here. Second piece was the easiest in the middle because it was just slice it to length, and then the third one required a little bit of templating, so it was only like 2 revisions of that one. But they're pretty snug right now. There's some cardboard under, so they're kind of like wobbling around. But from here, I'm going to work on the frame. That should be the easiest part, but that's what I keep saying. So that's really just measuring it out and cutting all the wood 1x2s to length. And then we should be all wrapped up here. It's already about 4 hours in, so maybe a couple hours longer than I expected. It is day 2 of the subfloor shenanigans. I spent 4 hours or maybe even more last night painting all the wood because you have to apply a primer to prevent the mold. So I got all that done, and actually on the big panels I only did it on one side because I ran out of paint. I knew I was going to run out of paint, and because once I laid it down I could go buy another quart and paint the top part, so I wasn't too worried. And flipping those heavy ass MFs in that tiny little living room that I have there. Those things are freaking heavy, and I've been lugging them around all day yesterday, so I didn't really want to break my back moving them anymore. So painted only one side. Now I am adding the adhesive and gluing down the frame over here, the frame for the subfloor frame. And so I started with the vertical ones, the horizontal ones, slowly adding them in using some weight plates to kind of hold it down. I think it's an 8-hour cure time, so I'm going to do it throughout the day. Apparently it's going to rain later today, so I'm going to get this all done and just kind of let it set. And then either later today, if it stops raining, put the top panels in. Also, I have to cut the insulation. So there's quite a few things to do today, weather dependent. So we'll see what we get done. After 3 back-breaking days, we finally have the subfloor in. Take a look. This is probably the most physically difficult part of the build, just because they're so freaking heavy, and I had to, like, when I was cutting them, I had to take them out, put them back in, scuff some things up. But actually putting them in this time, I tried a slightly different method, and I didn't really mess anything up, so I think we're all good as far as having to repaint little things. I put them down painted side down so I can paint them at this point. Additionally, I'm going to be putting in the screws. Probably going to put in the screws first and then paint on top of them. And then I also spray painted some foam along the sides to fill in the little cracks and crevices. So that's all nicely filled in. Going to put those nails in, get it painted. And I think we have a couple hours before the heavy thunderstorm comes back in. So let's get it done. So I've been trying to decide at what point should I finish this vlog or how much work I should do for this vlog. The next big step is going to be electrical. It's going to be the pre-wiring. I have to purchase a lot of components, solar panels, inverter chargers, all this crazy electrical stuff that I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos to learn. So I'm just going to put in the installation on this step, and that'll be the final part of this vlog. I'm going to be putting it on the walls here. And normally you put it on the roof, but I'm actually going to skip the roof because I have to put the solar panels in and I have to screw in some self-tapping screws. So we got some 3M Thinsulate. From what I researched, seems to be one of the better ways to go. There's like spraying methods, there's a whole bunch of different methods, but I chose this one. So I'm just going to put that in today. Should be fairly straightforward. You get some adhesive, spray the Thinsulate, spray the walls, cut the pieces and stick it on there. I've just finished insulating all of the major areas here. You can see behind me I got all the walls, little nooks and crannies above, below. I took the plastic panels off the door. This one was already off, but I put insulation behind that one. Took these two off, put insulation behind those. Covered a little bit of the roof here by the fan because I know I'm not going to be putting a solar panel there. Anyways, from here we're going to be going on to the very technically difficult parts, the wiring. First is going to be pre-wiring, and then I'm going to be slowly purchasing all the components. There's a lot of stuff to put together, so that's going to take a little while. But for this episode of the van build, that is all, and I will see you guys on the next one.